This is Vinyl Happy Hour. And as every week, I just can't believe that after this many years of being into vinyl, I geek out so hard over what's coming out and what's getting reissued. So that's what we're going to break down tonight. We're going to get into a little bit of detail on some of these releases and give you a little bit of background on some of the packaging, what's getting reissued, what's important about some of these records. If you don't know me, I'm Skylar Davis. I'm owner of Culture Shock Clothing and Records here in Rockford, Illinois. And I've been open almost 14 years now, but beyond that, I've been collecting records for probably about 25 years. And a big problem I'm seeing is that people my age or whatever, a lot of stuff that I grew up on and I was really into was either not available on vinyl or was impossible to get on vinyl because it wasn't being pressed very much, especially in the 90s and 2000s. So what we're doing is bringing out a few featured records every week, and tonight I've got some stuff I've never seen before, or it's finally getting reissued. Plus there's a really interesting indie exclusive release that has a big hole in it, and I'll tell you more about that. First off, let's just get into what's right in front of us. What's really interesting about this is it's the 20-year anniversary of Britney Spears' Oops, I Did It Again. And I'll have to admit, I've known her music, known her albums quite well. I've heard them enough to know them. But it's funny how you don't realize until you get a record, and I wanted to sample it out and play it, because there are people who say picture discs sound like crap or something like that, just like people say Crosley sound bad or something like that. You know, there's a lot of opinions out there. But this record actually sounds really good. Better than I thought it would. I would say probably this Britney Spears album, we've probably heard it on crappy car radios back in the day, or MTV on like a 19-inch crappy box TV or something like that. And you never got to hear it in really good sound quality, unless you were at the club or bowling alley or wherever. But this record sounds great, and it's actually a lot better to hear it on a real stereo system. Yeah, I had no problems hearing it. It actually sounded better than I thought it would, you know? But what's cool about the picture disc here is they did the full packaging too, so it's got some different photos of Britney and track list, of course, on the back, and it's the 20th anniversary. Usually with an anniversary disc like this, it's not going to stay in print for very long, so if you want to get this for nostalgic purposes or just because you want it, it's rare, whatever, I would get it quick because it may not stay in print very long. You can, of course, pick this up in our store at Culture Shock or go to cultureshockshop.com. We'll also have links in our YouTube video and stuff, so you can check that out. I would have to go out of my way just to say free Britney, because who else can make such a classic album that 20 years later people are still raving about, and she's still selling out Vegas and concerts and shows and even new albums when she makes them. I'm going to go right from a happy pop dance record into something that's pretty sad. Not that depressing, but it's just got a great sad feel to it. Conor Oberst of Bright Eyes has such an eloquent way of singing and, you know, painting his poetry in his music. But this new album, Down in the Weeds Where the World Once Was. This is the indie store exclusive of their brand new release. Bright Eyes and Conor Oberst have been making music for probably 25 years. This is the indie store exclusive red and orange vinyl, and the colors of the vinyl coordinate with the jacket. And this is the record I said has a huge hole in it. As you can see, the hole is right through the jacket. And they even designed the inner sleeve, or inner packaging, to have a hole in it so you can see through the record. I've never seen anyone make packaging quite like that. So that was a really cool idea. So don't lose your clear inner sleeves and use plain paper ones, because you're gonna obscure the art that they put together for this. It's a great album, lots of great instrumentation, even sometimes a little bit of a Latin flavor with some of the horns and some of the orchestral flavor with some of the strings and stuff like that. The record takes up 3 sides of the record. On the 4th side, you won't see this on the camera, you'll have to get it and play it for yourself. There's a bunch of little cartoon men or whatever that, like little shapes, and as it's going around on the record player, kind of dancing or making movement. Such a great album. Yeah, you can probably see the little images there on the record itself. So really cool way to use up the 4th side of the record, which would usually just be left blank, to do some kind of fun with it. Oh, I can kind of see it just looking at it even. So I just love the packaging on it. It's also a really great album. Of course, he's done some stuff. You know, we were just talking about how he made an album with Phoebe Bridgers and stuff too. Big fan of Bright Eyes. Years ago, it took me a while to get into them, but oh, it's just so good. Every song just has such a deep feeling. Lauren's laughing probably because Did you when you first introduced me to him, I was like, turn that off or something? Yeah. I think Digital Ash, though, I like though. But
I think I told you you would like Digital
Well,
Ash.
maybe, whatever. So that's the true mom and pop shop mentality there. We like to battle over our opinions sometimes. So my wife Lauren also co-owns Culture Shock with me, and she's running the cameras and does a lot of our social media. So she's been a big musical influence to me because I did come out of a very heavy wave of only liking punk, metal, and hardcore and stuff like that, and some industrial and stuff. So I stepped over. I've been listening to all sorts of stuff these last 14 years that I've been with her. Connor Oberst, so I would have to give credit to her. She really turned me on to him and Bright Eyes a lot. So we still have plenty of your old scratched up CDs from your old car, I'm sure. So here's another great nostalgic one. We only have a few copies of Bright Eyes. We ordered in the limited indie store exclusive. We work really hard to get the rare records and the best records we can in the store for you. I'm not sure if the black vinyl one, we'll have that coming in next week. If it has a hole in it also, it might just be a regular jacket, but this is an indie store exclusive. So these are only available to independent record stores. So please support your independent record store or Culture Shock. You can pick that up at cultureshockshop.com. This is just a reissue of one of my other favorite, kind of a sad, different album. Weezer went from more of a garage pop sound on their first Blue album to Pinkerton. This is probably around 97, I'm guessing, or so. But they did a reissue of this, a really limited white marble vinyl. Really interesting. I think they only did, I'm going to guess 3,000 or 4,000, which for Weezer is not very many copies. But we do have a few copies of that. I thought I missed out on it. It actually came out a few months ago amidst the pandemic and whatnot, shipping mix-ups or record label mix-ups. So I just wanted to show that off just because it's a great classic, also re-available again. This is a great album. I actually didn't get too into this in the 90s, but they have reissued Corrosion of Conformity, Wiseblood. This is from the Music on Vinyl label out of Netherlands. Really cool too. Color vinyl, I will show off. I got a really low number. We have some in the store. This is number 26. They made 1,000 copies of this, and each one is like foil stamp numbered on the back. So that's really cool that I got a low number. I don't care what number it is that much, but I was really happy to see that we got a low number on it. But it's a double LP. If you're not from red and blue marbled vinyl, let's show that off first a little bit too. So one record is kind of blue marbled, one is kind of red marbled, or yeah, blue and red mixed in. So I like it because it kind of goes with the album cover with that red marbling. But this band is pretty heavy, pretty good in like a grungy, southern, sludgy metal rock kind of way. If you're not familiar with them, I really didn't pick up on much in the 90s. I don't know why. I've gotten into more in the last few years. But that stuff from the 90s is so hard to find on vinyl. The guitarist who went on to be in Down with Phil Anselmo from Pantera. This band is more of that New Orleans kind of southern sludge rock thing. James Hetfield sings on one of the songs too. Singer from Metallica, of course. So it appeals to a lot of different rock and metal subgenres. Of course, Pantera, Metallica, stuff like that. But it has kind of a grungier, grittier feel to it. That appeases my likes of like Alice in Chains and Stone Temple Pilots too. But there's just a few of those left, so pick those up too if you can. Also on cultureshockshop.com. I told you a few weeks ago there's going to be some reissues of another one of my favorite 90s singers. This is Rid of Me. We also have the PJ Harvey's 4-track demo. So these both get dropped tomorrow. That's another reason we like to show off some records on Thursdays, because this is when we get our stuff prepped. Every Friday there's new releases coming out. Plus you can get reissues from things or new exclusive things. Plus we put out some used vinyl, of course. This is so good though. Rid of Me, she is just so heavy, so deep. And the guitar tone, her vocal tone. If you've not listened to PJ Harvey, if you haven't listened to her in a while, you'd be surprised at how well she still holds up. What I love about the demos that are coming out, really great sound quality recordings too. And it's just her and guitar really, and it's actually more bluesy almost. It's really stripped down, really raw. I mean, I could compare her also, if you're not too familiar, to a little bit of like maybe Bikini Kill, maybe even a little bit of Courtney Love and Hole, some of that kind of sound. Interestingly enough, I was reading lately that Courtney Love was actually in England for a few years in the 90s before she moved back and started grunging it out, so maybe the sound was a little bit more popular over there before it was here, but because PJ Harvey is from England. Just so cool to see. I've been searching for this album for a long time. Original pressings are always $100 to $200 or more, it seems like, so super happy. You can get a $20-something reissue of it now. Really great sounding quality. Also, these are available at cultureshockshop.com. I'm going to have a little bit of a sip of my whiskey. because I have to talk about an album I missed out on Record Store Day last year, and I kicked myself, and I finally got a replacement. This is really good and smooth. This is actually Grant View Distillery. I'm really proud to say this is a Rockford whiskey. It's farmed and raised, actually, the product was in Rockford and bottled here. It wasn't distilled here yet. They are still aging their bourbon, so this is kind of a sneak peek of some of the taste that they're going to have available very soon. Last year, like I was talking about on Record Store Day, though, another good, sad singer who I love so much, Jeff Tweedy, singer and writer of Wilco. He put out his album Warm, but then a follow-up companion to that was the album Warmer. There was a Record Store Day limited thing of that. This one is not available to the store. I actually picked this up from a reseller on eBay for myself because it was sold out. This was an exclusive only on the Wilco website. I missed out on it. I didn't even know it got reissued. So I thought Warmer was going to get reissued, but it still hasn't. But they did this special package, and I, wanted to pick it up. This is actually on blue and black and white splatter vinyl. The album artwork is so cool. I love the constellation look. The jacket is really tough, almost like denim. It's a double LP, so it has both albums in one package. There's this cool booklet. So I bought this from an individual on eBay, and he even was nice enough to send me the download code, stuff like that. So I had to pay for it a little bit, quite a bit more than the original regular record version, but it was really cool to get this special combo. And I already have one of the albums. I'll probably sell it now. But I wanted to mention this because luckily I was able to find this, but there are many releases from Record Store Day years past that I don't have. So we're going to share the link also for the Record Store Day releases that are coming out to Culture Shock next weekend, Saturday, August 29th. There's going to be another batch on September and October. So Record Store Day is something you definitely want to plan around getting out for and getting some of these limited releases. Last year I think I picked up The Crow instead. I usually pick one record for myself, and then I go back for more if there are any. I know it's something I could get 20 or 30 different records. There's so many great releases every year for Record Store Day. So I just wanted to say that's the fun about checking out record stores, shopping your independent record stores. We appreciate all the support from you guys, of course. And we want you to know that we are doing our best to make sure there's a lot available to you and you know what's going on. So please check us out, give us a like, subscribe to our online and social media. And we definitely want to keep up with you, and now we're making it available through our website too. Even the Record Store Day releases after the first day of Record Store Day, what we have available will be on our website. So be sure to check those out. If you can't make it in person, we will be open at 8 a.m. and keeping everyone nice and spaced out and masked up and hand sanitized and all that stuff to have kind of a new special different way of doing Record Store Day. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So until then, enjoy your records. Let us know if you have any questions. Comment on anything you can, and keep watching for new video ideas coming up. Cheers.